Welcome to Mental Gardens Universe
At Masisi Radio, back at it for another little conversation.
with music breaks with Contagious.
Hey y'all, get ready to be sick of me
So,
already.
excuse me,
Oh,
y'all.
not you coughing already off the
I
Contagious.
know,
Sorry,
I'm
y'all.
sick, y'all.
So let's get into it. Last time, where'd we kind of leave off?
Last time I shared with you guys a lot about how I got started. And this time I just wanted to switch it up a little bit and talk about what I'm doing right now. And one of the biggest things that I think I have to work on, or I don't know, it's not having a boss. Honestly, sometimes it is insane.
So like self-discipline.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's crazy being like the only person to go for guidance. I
Yeah.
feel like there's not.
It's like, who do you turn to? Like, who do you ask for advice?
And I mean,
Guidance.
yeah, obviously there's always people around you that you can talk to, but ultimately when you're creating something from scratch that not that it hasn't been done before, like obviously people start jewelry brands, but it's like, it's different. Every business or thing that you create just has its own life and like feeling. So it's tricky. And one of the ways I've been able to stay disciplined is by not beating myself up,
Okay.
like for doing things when I don't want to do them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times discipline is like, like go hard, like forcing yourself to wake up at 6 a.m. when you don't want to. I completely removed that from my lifestyle.
Yeah.
And it may sound, I feel like when I hear it out loud, sometimes it even sounds like, damn, like that's an essential part of life, I guess.
I mean, I guess it's more of a traditional routine, but I feel like nothing you do or we do is traditional.
It's traditional,
So
no.
like, yeah.
But I don't beat myself up for it. Like if I'm tired, I'll go to sleep. If I have energy, I'll be awake. Sometimes I'm late on orders, but I have this like insane idea that I need to get out of my head, and I will prioritize that.
Yeah.
Even if that means, that order may be like 2-3 weeks later than it was supposed to.
And I feel like a lot of times it's like about flowing with the energy of like the creative spirit and like, what you're called to do rather than forcing yourself to do stuff a lot of times too. Especially when it comes to like more of a creative project rather than an obligation, so to speak.
Yeah, totally. And so one of the ways I've been able to give myself structure while being super free, because every day that we live looks totally different.
Yeah.
We don't really have like, that
standard,
9 to 5.
yeah.
No. Our standard is get the urgent orders out.
Young and turn,
But, I work a lot through the night. So I will usually work from like 8 p.m., 10 p.m. Like last night, we started work at like 9 p.m. I didn't
think
go to
even
sleep.
later than that.
Yeah.
Because you got home from the gym, so you were, doing your self-care routine.
Yes.
We didn't really start till 11.
I need that. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, and I didn't clock out until 6 a.m. And yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people will I don't think they intentionally try to shame me, but they're always like, oh my God, you need to sleep. That's unnatural. Like, you're going to age. You're going to look like shit.
As if the way that you avoid it is by sleeping? I don't know.
I guess.
But you're going to age regardless.
But I still sleep my little 6 hours. 8
Yeah.
hours, shit,
It's
times 10.
It's different.
So I just feel like if you have a creative endeavor that you want to grow and that you want to focus on, please do not
Just listen to all the rah-rah.
I mean, yeah, obviously listen to people's opinions and stuff, but always do what feels right for you, because at the end of the day, I'm able to get a lot of things done during the night. During the day, I just want to experience life.
Yeah.
Or I want to do things that make me feel good, like, go to the gym, go to the beach.
I mean, that comes with the freedoms of being your own boss, being able to create your rules, your routine. Like, okay, I have time for business and pleasure.
It took time for me to get to that point, though, because I remember there was a long period where I was beating myself up for not having that traditional structure. And I remember one time a family member flew in from out of the country and was like, wow, you know, if I had all your freedom, I would like wake up every day at this time, work my X amount of hours, and then I thought in my head immediately, I was like, but that's why you don't.
No, literally, like, they're worried about the wrong thing because you're over here daydreaming. This is my reality.
Yeah,
like,
so please stop trying to tell me what to do.
Yeah. It's always a shoulda, coulda, woulda.
But yeah, it was just something I wanted to dump. It's like,
That's how you're feeling. Yeah,
that's how I'm
like,
feeling.
yeah.
Like, damn. But, you know, other than that,
Yeah, other than that, what's going on in the Mental Gardens world?
we have so many great projects coming up. I honestly don't really like talking about things until they happen because it can be really overwhelming. But, you know, Mental Gardens has been alive for about like 10 years, 11 years. And
A little preteen.
yeah, a little preteen. And right now, you know, it's very hormonal. Now that it's like, 10, 11.
She moody.
She's moody.
Moody Mental Gardens.
She's very creative. So we have a lot of things coming up.
Let's see, what else? What do you want to dive into? Like, what do you, any...
We can honestly go into some more deep lore.
Okay.
Because last time...
They love the deep lore.
Yeah, last time we cut it off was right around the time I moved to Australia. So I would love to talk to you guys about that because
Yeah, that's crazy.
without that trip, there really wouldn't have been any Mental Gardens in the way that it exists today. Because to paint you a picture, I was probably 19 or 20, and I was working at a call center, the Florida way. And
We love a call center.
and it was just low vibrational, as you can say. Like, I was not feeling it.
That's like robotic.
And then I found out that the minimum wage in Australia was like $20 or like $18 Australian, and that was still like $16 US. Shit, that was more than I was making at that call center. So I saved up some money and I decided to move. I was in Australia within 6 months. And once I got there, I thought it would be so easy to just find a job, and it wasn't.
You're like, oh, this is all so simple. Like, you know, they're getting paid well over there.
It
like,
wasn't.
just pack my things and go.
I think there was a lot of things that I wasn't taking into consideration. For example, a lot of the people that were getting hired were like European immigrants.
White people.
Yeah, a lot of Germans, Danish people. And, you know, I would like walk into the bars or like the cool places because I reached Melbourne. And people were just, like, the owners were just so rude and nasty. And so to get by in that first month, I ended up cleaning hotels for accommodation. So it was work for accommodation. I did that for a month. And shit, I wasn't mad. I mean, at least I had somewhere to stay.
No, literally, yeah. Something to do.
I had to clean the hotel, the hostel, like once or twice a week. And so I did that. Yeah, I did that the first week I got there because I was just like, holy shit, I'm not finding a job. I need to at least not pay for where I sleep. While I was at that hostel, I ended up making friends that knew about some place in Western Australia. And it was like a mine, and we could go there, and it was $30 an hour. And if you worked there, you could get your second year. So me and two friends, one of them had a van, and we decided to take a road trip all the way across the country. It took like 2 weeks. Australia's huge. And we get there, and we couldn't even get the job, y'all, because we had been smoking weed the whole time.
So wait, like they drug test or like?
Yes! And so we all just spent our last dollar.
Crazy.
Our last dollar.
Was I trying to get some corporate job? Like, what was it?
No, it was working at a mine.
Oh, okay. Like an actual. Oh, they still do that?
Yeah. Okay. We get a lot of like metals
like,
and precious stones out of Australia,
Period.
and most of that is out west. So yeah, we were just gonna be sorting through things, which I was fantasizing about. I thought it was really
That'd
dope.
Been fun. Yeah.
I was like, I'm here for it. I'll sort whatever for $30 an hour too.
You a pothead. You can't sort through nothing but some nugs.
Ooh, yeah. And they were like, oh, okay, great. You guys are hired, but the last step is the test. And we were just like, respectfully, we're gonna decline that. So we ended up going to the nearest city, which was Perth.
Okay.
And once we got to Perth, like, that was it. There was nothing left in the bank. Like, we had to figure it out. So I just got on Craigslist, and I started, like, painting houses.
Made it happen, yeah.
I started cleaning again. I started taking care of dogs, walking dogs, house sitting.
Just doing whatever.
Yeah, whatever for some cash. And then I ended up finding a post for a personal assistant on Craigslist. And so I was like, okay, shit, let me apply. Mind you, at this time, my luggage still had all my jewelry equipment. I wasn't doing it because I tried to pop up in Melbourne, and it was crickets, and it kind of made me really embarrassed. And so it just it just shut me off. Because it's just so much rejection already that I was experiencing in Melbourne. And then I go out to the street, and I just put stuff up. Yeah, and it's just not. And so I put it away. So I ended up getting the job as a personal assistant. Fast forward a couple months, this guy is like insane. He's like taking advantage of me, the fact that I'm super young and also an immigrant. And then the thought comes back in my head. I'm like, he's withholding pay from me, by the way. I'm like, wait. Yeah, he was withholding payment.
The details of this
is insane. And so that experience is what pushed me to do mental gardens again, because I was like, wait, hold on. Like, I'm sitting here, I moved to the whole other side of the world to try to find this sense of security through my finances. Meanwhile, I have a luggage full of things like that I can
be creating. What you kind of came here for.
Yeah, so I sat down and I booked like 3 months worth of markets for myself, and it was so eye-opening. Like, I remember doing the markets and just feeling like, wait, I can't believe this is happening. Like, I was doing really, really well.
Yeah, this was in Perth?
Yeah, that was in Perth.
Uh-huh.
I ended up finding a market that was every weekend in downtown, and
similar to how we're doing now.
Yeah, shout out Magic City Flea. And so I became independent through being like completely powerless out there. I ended up still staying with that personal assistant job because, again, he did owe me money. So I just played the long game. I did end up getting my money.
Chess, not checkers.
Yes, okay. And but throughout most of that experience, I was just selling jewelry all throughout the city. I did my first festival in Australia.
Like a music festival?
Yeah, but it was more like a retreat, but it was still a festival.
Okay.
There was like
they were playing music.
They were playing music. Yeah, and it was amazing. I mean, so by the time I came back to the States,
so how long did you stay in Australia for?
I was in Australia for 2 years. The first year, I was really just figuring out what
to do.
Yeah, where I was going to go. I spent a month in Melbourne, like a month and a half traveling to Perth, and then I stayed in Perth for the rest of my time. And while I was in Perth, I worked as a caterer. I had that personal assisting job, and then I did mental gardens. So every dollar that I made with mental gardens, I put in a bank account, and I did not touch it, because the fire, the anger, the rejection, the abuse of power, everything that I was experiencing was like, ooh, no, I need to create my own sense of security. Nobody's gonna give me this but myself. So
that way nobody can take it away either.
Yeah, nobody can take it away. So every dollar I made from mental gardens, I didn't touch. I made an account for it, a bank account, and I just let that money sit there. And then by the time I was ready to come back to the States, I was like, holy shit, I think I have enough to just
like focus on this, like
and not feel like I have to look for another job or anything. So that gave me financial security to continue the
freedom of just
my
doing your own thing,
career.
yeah.
Basically,
No,
I
literally.
want to keep making new designs. I want to keep growing as a designer, as an artist, as a maker. That requires time. That requires a lot of funds, and so I worked for that. Like I crafted that for myself. And yeah, when I got back in 2020, all I did was just make new jewelry and put it out in the world and hope that it would get better. Little did I know, the pandemic came.
Yeah. They're like,
And
oops, you thought.
You thought, babes. The pandemic came.
Welcome back to
but,
America.
I was selling mostly online, so I was just at my house
Yeah.
doing that.
Just in the studio, yeah.
Yeah, 24/7. That's like all I did. And I definitely like lost a sense of socializing. Cause think about it. I had just left Florida. I had just left my hometown on some fuck you shit because I was sick of it. I was not inspired by Fort Lauderdale at all.
Mm-hmm.
All my friends around me at the time, sorry if you knew me at that time, whatever, y'all were not inspiring me.
Ooh.
It was giving just nothing but smoke weed and vegetate. And there was this like burning desire to
Create.
to do something.
Yeah. No, literally, yeah.
Do
Just
something, bitch. Get up. Why are you sitting
It's the
on
get
your
up challenge.
ass? It's the get up
Just
challenge.
get up, baby. You don't even gotta get a job
Get
at this
up
point.
and do something.
Just get up, go outside.
Do anything challenge. And so, yeah, I came back and I really kind of had like no friends. Because literally I was just like, fuck y'all. But it was the purge. I needed that. And
That's
I
true.
encourage people to do that.
You cleanse and then new things come into your
yeah,
life.
and
Like
then
me.
and then new people. I always encourage people to.
Because then, yeah, I
to
mean, if you really
isolate.
think of it on that like super deep level, it's like, yeah, you got really deep into Etsy. You started pushing stuff through there. I was shopping on Etsy because of the call center I was working at.
Yeah.
And then we just, yeah, are attached to the hip now.
Yep. And so, speaking on Etsy, we can have a little segue. Because a lot of people, every time I mention that I'm on Etsy,
You ate that?
they'd be like, oh my God, don't they charge a bunch of fees?
Yeah.
Or I
Just
remember too on Instagram.
Yeah, complaining.
Yeah, I remember
Making
too on
excuses.
Instagram, people being like, oh my God, the algorithm, like they just want us to pay for ads. There's a cost to doing business.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a nonprofit. So Etsy helped me reach thousands of people.
Mm-hmm.
I have, like, you can see on my Etsy, I've been there since 2016. You can see all my reviews.
You can
all
check
the
her
orders.
credentials.
Yes.
She got
like,
the timestamps.
Etsy helped me with that, so I'm not gonna sit here and shit on Etsy
Yeah.
and be like, oh no, their fees are expensive. I mean,
It's business.
I don't own a storefront.
Yeah.
So, and then again with the Instagram stuff, how a lot of people do say like, oh, you know, I'm shadow banned, I'm this, and that, and it can be so discouraging. And I've gone through that stuff too. The reality is, half the time, babes, your content is not hitting. Your content is not cute.
So you're saying it's better off to be shadow banned?
No, don't blame Instagram. Make new
Like,
content.
just do, yeah.
Test new things out.
Something more dynamic or just change things up.
Change things
I mean,
up.
the definition of an insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and making,
Okay,
or thinking that
wait.
you'll get some different results.
Who
Like,
said that? Albert Einstein? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
Contagious said that.
Okay. But a lot of the stuff that we do as self-made creative people, you can't sit there and blame anybody else. You really can't. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but once you
True.
start getting into that mindset, then you're not in control anymore. And so it's just like, I don't know, I'm super delusional. I'm a Libra stellium. At the end of the day, it's not that deep, and I will be giggling. So
The air sign way.
I remember in 2020, I came from Australia. I was doing good online. And then I think 2021 or 2022, it started to like fall off because I got really busy and I had nobody to help me. So I stopped posting on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And that
Just
forced
being
me.
overwhelmed with things.
I was super overwhelmed. I was also dealing with bad partners. Bro, stay away. Stay away from
Stay
bad
away.
partners. Or just like romance in general, to be honest. Okay.
Ooh,
That
she
may
gonna
sound
start, she gonna start ranting.
I know that sounds a little intense. That sounds a little intense, but when
You
you're
gotta
trying
divide
to
your
like,
time, your energy, you know.
yeah, and then you gotta deal with like whether that person approves of what you're doing or not. I don't know. I feel like when you're starting something, it's just so important for you to not have to go back and forth with anybody. So that ate a lot of my time. And I ended up having to start doing a lot of markets to just like keep flow.
The flow of things,
Yeah.
you know, also keep yourself busy, keep yourself, you know, back out there to also encourage your social skills again.
Yeah, I needed it by that time. I was like, yo, what is going on? Like, I'm kind of going crazy. But I started doing markets, like 3 to 4 markets every weekend, and that was an era. Like, I feel like I discovered South Florida all over again as a tourist. And then, you know, being from Fort Lauderdale, I had never really spent time in Miami. So doing markets with like Angels Only, Little River Flea, Magic City Flea, really helped get me out of my suburban shell. The suburban hell.
The suburban hell
that I'm
that
trying
we're
to claw
facing
out.
right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to, if anybody knows an
I was
apartment.
gonna say, y'all know any realtors in Miami, let us know.
But I mean, throughout the whole time, I've had to find ways to discipline myself through all the changes. And most of the discipline had to come from that like self-love of like, oh, just do things at your own time whenever you can do them. And then once you
want
start,
to do them too.
yeah, and then like once you start, it starts to grow. And like snowball. Now you want to do something else.
It's like a puzzle. It's like a Lego set.
Yeah,
You know?
to me, it's like a kind of an avalanche. That's what it feels like.
Okay.
It's like this big, huge task that is like daunting. And then once the snow starts to come, it just it catches momentum and speed. And I just always try to remember that, like, just do one little thing. By the time you're done with that one thing, you're not going to want to finish there. You want to do more.
Yeah.
And so I've adopted all of these little mindsets of disciplining myself when I don't want to make a piece or when an order is too complicated and I'm procrastinating, like how to make it enjoyable for myself. Because, you know, we start these endeavors because of the love for what we do. So I'm always aware of how close am I to feeling that joy right now in this moment.
Yeah.
And if I'm analyzing myself, I'm always kind of in a mood or I'm always stressed, not feeling good. Something around me needs to change or my mindset needs to change. And then that's when working overnight started.
Yeah.
I started implementing that.
Rather than just beating yourself up or like trying to make it just harder in general.
Yeah, I was like...
adapt, which I feel like, it's just a key skill in the mental gardens world.
Yes.
Adaptability.
Do you must have a lot of just lore with adaptability within the Mental Gardens universe and also discipline within the Mental Gardens universe. So we're coming up to our anniversary of Brock being with Mental Gardens. And you've just grown so much as a person.
Thank you.
But also just as like a little angel, a little fairy in
just creating and learning
in the
things,
garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how's
Tiny
your
things.
experience been with discipline?
Discipline is definitely tricky for me. I feel like as another air sign, like I'm definitely like free falling a lot of times, just going with the wind, just like moving around. But I feel like it's also a thing that I attribute to like the success between our partnership and dynamic here is that I feel like I learned so much from you as far as like discipline and creating some sort of routine, being able to adapt to situations and change things around. So I feel like at the beginning of it, I was definitely trying to still do my own thing like I do on most jobs and most places that I'm like just trying to make things work. And I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna do my own thing. Like I'm gonna listen to the rules a little bit, but I'm gonna just do it my own way. And then, that was like quickly like nipped in the bud because I felt like you're one of the more, definitely the most like stern and serious direct person when it comes to like not letting me do stupid shit like that, which is definitely what I needed in that moment.
Yeah.
And then it takes me to actually make the changes after that to not just make it a continuous cycle.
For example,
Ooh.
How the hell?
Not the example.
We just started, working, whatever. You're learning how to work with the resin. This bitch decides to put South Central. I don't mind. I love it. But
South
guess what?
Central's baddies, just to clarify.
guess what ends up happening? I'm over there tinkering at metal. I turn my head and I see this bitch, mouth all open, just staring at the screen.
I was gagged.
I said, no.
They gagged me.
No. Now you're not allowed to.
No, yeah, the phone privileges were taken away for a week.
Revoked.
I was on parental control. I could only watch like Yo Gabba Gabba and like Teletubbies.
Oh, we could only watch Intervention.
Oh, Intervention,
Extreme
Hoarders,
Couponing,
Extreme
Hoarders,
Couponing.
all the little boring shows.
Botched.
Yeah. That was the most.
Or 20 versus 1.
20 versus.
The balloon popping.
But even those, sometimes you would zone out a little bit too much. But you have worked at your, like, having that discipline.
Yeah.
And, like, almost healing the attention deficit. Or I don't know. Maybe you just took it more seriously because I forced you to take it more seriously. Because it could have been all hee hee ha ha.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I want to hear your.
But I feel like it was just me. I feel like it was just me, and just also just I was trying to just go through the cycle that I'm normally going through when it comes to just jobs and like who wants to work. Like I hate capitalism. I hate working.
Wake that up.
So I guess, just thought of it as another job, unfortunately, at the
Okay.
beginning. And I was like, okay, like this could be my little gig for the moment. And then yeah, I think I was just being too hee hee ha ha, and then that was quickly like put to a halt, stopped, like no.
Yeah,
Boundaries
no.
are set, and I feel like I was just like, okay, let me like wake up and actually like, I guess take this seriously, even though I feel like always taking it seriously, but there was just a lot more room for
Yeah, for
dumb shit.
Your actions matching up to that. One thing is how
Yeah.
we feel, another thing is how we act.
No, true.
And I think also a big thing that stopped me from hiring people was like I was very protective over what I've built, and
Yeah, I'm pretty much like the first and like the longest hire, I suppose.
definitely the longest.
The
You're
longest.
not the first.
Not really
though.
the first, I guess. First legitimate, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah, legitimate.
Based on what I know.
Yeah, I mean, like I had my cousin work for me for like a year. She would come over every day and pack orders, and then that was cute. But I could just tell like she had her own dreams and stuff, and she wasn't really like.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had another cousin come in and try to help me make stuff, and it was just also not happening. And then I had one of my exes come in and try to help me, and they tried to take over. I was
Ooh.
like, bitch, get out.
Clock out for me, boo.
Clock out for me indefinitely.
Indefinitely, immediately, forever.
You will like never, like that's crazy to me. And then after that experience, it kind of tarnished me, and I just was at peace with forever doing things
Just
on
doing
my
it on
own.
your own, yeah.
And then I had a friend up here be like, girl, you really need help. You should really hire Brock. And at the time, if you know deep, contagious, cuntly lore, and you were on the Instagram,
If you were on Instagram, you must have known what I was going through.
their Amazon era
My Amazon era.
had this girl.
The infamous Amazon era.
Miss Bezos had this girl.
But you know, we in the DJ era now, so let's
Yeah.
play some music and
Ah,
do a little segue
yeah,
there.
so-
Fuck Amazon, fuck Jeff Bezos.
And let's hear the evolution.
I'm done talking about him. Thank you.
Manifest my CC, magical my CC, movement my CC, magnetic my CC, mellow my CC, monumentous my CC. You are now entering my CC radio. Ayy.
We used this song on the Ant Grill.
They were really mad about that one. They're still mad about it. I'd be mad too. Because it really is Venus as a boy. Like, I feel like I am Venus as a boy. But maybe I'm just biased.
You're not Venus ruled like me.
Not for real, but like in sidereal,
Oh, no,
I
I'm
am.
just saying, like, in general, like, you're not
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just in general.
not you,
Not me
not
being
you.
defensive again, as usual.
Yes.
He believes in the beauty. His bitch, I'm Gucci. Fly to Asia, he feeding me sushi. When we fucking, it feel like a movie. Raw bitch ain't never been a groupie. Sip on a hoe, I like my nigga bougie. Tell me you'll never wanna lose me. 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 Keep me a Haitian, I love me a soul. I've been thinking about you on the road. We having rich sex on the boat. She hit it back to back like it's dope. How you gon' prove you could treat me right? You stole my heart like a thief in the night. Yeah, he my man, he was never your type. If you try me, hold on sight. You told him to Uzi, but he acting real bougie. I like to fight over big hoe, don't get hit with a two-piece. You know you can call if you need me. Tell me you ain't never ever leaving. When I suck it, I look in your eyes. You better feel me like you mean me. Tell me you'll never wanna lose 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 me. Tell me you'll never getting no rape on this and on my clothes. Doing good, bitch, I'm Gucci. When we fucking, it feel like a movie. These up on a hoe, I like my nigga bougie. Tell me you'll never wanna lose me.
Menino que beija menina, que beija menino, que beija menina. Tem diplo, tem lanterna, tem Anitta. Tem bunda, tem baile, tem ousadia. Tem copo pra cima, loucura nas copos.
Já vim preparado que o bagulho é tenso. Bolso lotado, tá tudo regado. Quem tá do meu lado nem tá entendendo. Rave com funk ficou excitante. Tô querendo ver tu colar aqui dentro. Vem pro mirante, te fiz de romance, só tenho uma chance pra esse momento. Tô louca, bateu agora, aproveita, já chega, bota, me toca, já chega, bota, vai, vai.
Mira, mami, ¿te acuerdas cuando antes le dábamos con él? Arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento. Hacho, mami, esos movimientos, arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento. Y si se pone de espalda porque quiere, pues toma, dale, toma, dale, toma, 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 dale, toma, dale, toma, dale. ¿Te gusta esto? Pues entonces dale, toma, dale, toma, dale, toma, 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 dale, toma, dale. Y si se fue a la madera, coge un clavo y un martillo y clávala, 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 clávala. Va a dejar que se floje, no lo pienses, dale duro y clávala, 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 clávala. No sé qué te gusta, entonces vamos a darle con el arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento. Hacho, mami, esos movimientos, arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento, arriba, abajo, lento, lento. Lo siento, lo siento. Yo, mirar que dijo que el dembow no va a sonar más, que las mujeres son las que saben, y estos fueron ellas que me lo pidieron.
Masisi Radio, Masisi Radio, Masisi Radio, Masisi Radio.
Welcome back.
A little sounds by Contagious, a little dance break for y'all.
To wake it up,
You
get the blood
know.
moving. That's so fucking important when it comes to
Just being self-made, you know, like doing your own thing, being in charge of your own life.
Yeah, like if you do like a creative endeavor that requires you to be sitting down a lot, please make it a part of your job to get up and move and sweat.
To stretch, to
Yes.
start the day off with some stretching.
I mean, you don't even need to start the day off any type
Do
of
whatever,
way.
yeah, like-
Make sure you incorporate it in
Just
some
somehow,
capacity.
yeah.
Like, make sure you're sweating, your heart rate is up. I've had great thoughts about like how to improve my life in terms of mental gardens as I'm working out, as I'm swimming. Like, I honestly feel when you work out or when you exercise, like the portal between you and the angels thin.
Not the
And
portal.
like, because you're just there, like out of breath, like
Yeah.
you feel so human and bodily that like, I don't
Mhm.
know, you just get messages or some shit.
That kind of takes me back to the movie we saw yesterday, but
Damn.
so we were also talking about like discipline and kind of like how I'm coming up on my year anniversary and just kind of like the changes that we both have, I guess, had to take in the span of that. We also mentioned last time, you know, the trip that I took to Chicago was my first solo trip.
Yeah.
Hoping cheers to that. Cheers to some new ones, you know, coming up this year.
Yeah, I think that a big thing of you just taking this more seriously was getting more responsibility.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I kind of
that's
like
the-
forced you. I was like,
I mean, it kind of had to be, yeah, because I feel like
Yeah.
both of us are pretty dominant people, so I feel like it just wasn't, it was just us kind of almost butting heads, but almost not even really, but it could
I was butting no head.
Okay, child.
Okay, like
I was hitting the wall.
yeah, you were
apparently,
hitting your own head
in
on
the
that
mirror,
wall.
on the wall.
But I think I honestly did that with you because that's how I was raised. I was always thrown into the pool without knowing how to swim,
Okay,
so to speak.
and I was babied, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, poor little
Rock
bro.
was coddled. Always
As the
making
oldest,
sure.
it's still crazy to me, but that just kind of shows you that I'm God's favorite. all.
So yeah, I always tell Brock, like, I was like, oh, I'm your karma, because I don't let you get
No,
away with
literally.
things that other
And
people.
I'm your karma too, because you can't stay mad at me, and I'm just perfect.
Bruh, you're not
No?
wrong, but
exactly,
don't piss
I'm
me
not
off.
wrong. See, you
Don't
just
piss
proved
me
it right
off.
now. Listen,
I love you.
I love you
bruh.
too.
You can't do no wrong. And even when Brock does wrong, they repent for their sins, and that's what matters. But yeah, what else do you feel? Because I know there are people out there that they have things that they want to do. Maybe they want to paint. Maybe they don't necessarily like want to turn it into this like career, but they have things that they want to do, but they don't do them. They don't.
That's the problem.
Take the time. But
that's the problem.
How did you kind of?
I really just said fuck it, and yeah, you saw me on the brink of damn near death, working for Amazon every single day in that hot ass van, like just spending my whole entire time there and not being able to do anything. To where even at that point, my whole gardening like hobby was on the back burner. Like everything was just a mess. It was dying, and I couldn't really do markets like that, and it was just depressing.
It was just Amazon, complain on Instagram, and play video games.
Yeah.
What kind of life is that, y'all?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I was getting by just fine. And
you
it got
really
me,
weren't.
It
the
got
fuck?
me.
You were crying on the stories.
It got me where I'm at right now, so I stand by it.
You're doing just fine now.
Okay.
At that time, you were losing your marbles.
Regardless.
But I think that you got to hit that point.
The dominoes were still in play, and the dominoes fell the way the dominoes were supposed to fall.
I feel like you have to hit that point. I hit that point in Australia.
You about to hit another point.
What, the pressure point?
The pressure point.
No, Akaya. Your daughter's acting up on live. But no, I hit that point when I had my personal assisting job, and this guy didn't want to pay me. He was assaulting me in different ways. He was just threatening me, and I had done all this free work for him, and that is what pushed me to say, fuck you, I actually don't need you. I'm gonna get my lick back though, but I don't need you because I have these tools in my bag.
No, literally, you got a toolie and you wanna have some fun.
Yeah, no, and that was you like being like, yeah, you're in this like weird corporate ass job because you need the money, but you have all this explosive creative talent. And you have
the big jump. Yeah, I mean, I just
stamina.
Mm-hmm. I mean, before I started working for you, I quit and I was just like over it for a little bit. I think I was just trying to like make ends meet.
No, I thought you quit because I told you to quit. I was like, bro, let me.
Oh, because then I was also working that little side job with the plants. Yeah.
And then.
Because then that's when I was able to kind of free up my time and I wasn't working at Amazon so much.
Yeah,
I was
you
working
took some
two
days
jobs.
off.
But then just working 2 jobs was too much, and then I was still working for somebody else who was a cookie cutter ass bitch.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't get with it. So I'm not the type to really follow or take direction or maybe follow the rules, but I feel like I respect you enough to do so.
I love you. No, I feel like it's different for sure with this because it's so small.
I mean, yeah, but...
So you see your impact in a different way.
Shit, the other one was small too that I was working with the plants.
Yeah, but they had more employees. And you never saw the owner.
Yeah.
Or did you? Yeah,
kind of
you
here
never...
and there. There was no connection. Like, we weren't here face to face all the time like how me and you are. Yeah. Like, we're here like almost in it together, but I'm always just trying to like lift you up rather than like try and take something away from you. Like anybody maybe who in the past has been on some weird shit. But yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like there is.
Because we both win. Like, why would I try and do that? Like, we could literally just both win. Like Baby Mother said, don't compete, collaborate.
Thank you. Her new album is so fucking good.
Yeah, the mixtape 8, Bastards Tape Volume 4. Mixtape album, EP, whatever.
But I'm so happy with where everything is going right now.
Yeah, and all the new, like, we're really closing out the year, like, on, like, a different level. Yeah, the little year anniversary, I suppose, for me is right now, like, in November, right? Maybe, like, the earlier time in December, where we were also in Chicago together.
Yep.
But Ruby, love you, Ruby.
Love you, Orchard, NYC. And so... You know, now we are back in Miami. We're doing a market every Sunday with Magic City Flea. That's in downtown Miami.
Come out and see us this Sunday.
By Over Under.
Also, this Saturday, we're going to be at the last Mic Drop event that they're throwing here in Miami.
Shout out Lunas.
Shout out everybody involved. We can't wait to see y'all dance, party, and just, celebrate. Have a good time. I love the community aspect alongside with the marketing.
Yeah.
And that's like turn capitalism into community. Like, and
we're all
gonna make ends meet, but in a different way.
Yeah, in your own way.
Yeah, literally.
And you know, dancing, socializing, going out, having fun was such a part of my life that I was missing. And when I made it a point to integrate that into what I'm doing, it made me just happier overall. So just always be aware and observe of what makes you happy and include that in your daily routine or include that within your goals, however far removed it may be from the focus of your work.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I make jewelry, but it's also a lifestyle.
It's a brand.
My
it's
life,
like,
yeah, my life.
It's a whole world.
The things that I do influence the stuff I create, and I can't neglect one more than the other. So
we just gotta do it all.
Yeah, fine-tuning, trying to find that balance. And sometimes that means you don't sleep. Sometimes that means you don't go out. Sometimes that means you sleep all day. And I don't kill myself for it anymore. It is what it is. Like, I'm happy and glad at the end of the day that all my needs are covered. And if I need to go buy food right now, I can eat. And having those thoughts have really grounded me. Like, just being very grateful for the most basic of things. Because
just taking a step back, kind of like looking at everything from a different perspective.
It's so easy living in America with all of the privileges and, you know,
the tools,
the riches that exist in this country, even amongst the poverty that you witness here, to kind of always want more and more and more and more and more. And so then to feel like you're not doing enough. And it's like, no, I'm
it's like a rat race.
Yeah.
It's like literally a rat race. Crabs in a bucket.
And it's like, no, I'm good. I have the ability to sleep right now. I have the ability to, you know, get food or have access to a friend or somebody around me that has food. I, you know, have a car to get around. It's really not that bad. All of it comes down to figuring what you want and
like wants and needs and like luxuries and necessities.
And just like managing your expectations throughout it all while being grateful for what you have in front of you. And if you don't know what you want, then you have it all. There's nothing to yearn for.
Everybody want to be the main character, but don't know their storyline.
Okay.
Like, let's figure that out, boo. Create
Some
the plot,
people are supportive roles, and that's fine,
that's
too.
Fine. I love me a good supportive role character, an NPC, like all that. We just gotta like do what you do and be the best at it. Everybody's trying to do what other people do, and I'm over it.
I'm over it. And I feel like I've been so polite for most of my life, I feel. Like, always just trying to be, even in terms of creating jewelry collections, I always tried to make things that would appeal to a wide audience so that, you know, whoever it was, they could buy a piece. It wasn't as exclusive.
Yeah.
It was more inclusive. And I'm just stepping away from that a little bit as of this year, and I've been a little bit more exclusive. Like, yeah, it takes a certain type of person to wear this. It takes a certain type of person to digest me and like me or whatever, because I'm not matching energies as often.
Or just doing what you think people want from you or expect from
or
you.
saying things that will get me liked, or just keeping my mouth shut when I feel like giving an opinion.
I mean, that comes down to building your own world and building the Mental Gardens realm. You know, you have to build the steps to it rather than just trying to go all in one direction. You know,
yeah,
so
I was just
have
not trying to piss
staples.
anyone off during that process.
And now you're like,
And now I'm like, I honestly
mad.
don't. Yeah. I don't even feel like nobody's mad for real. But if you are mad, you can handle it in the DMs or in the comments section publicly.
Or with your therapist privately. And that's all.
And on that note,
Mental
Gardens was feeling pretty angsty today, okay? And to be real, we ended up talking about the discipline stuff because, I mean, our life is crazy as shit.
Yeah, and just getting bigger and bigger, so you're going to need more responsibilities, boundaries,
Yeah, and discipline with
juggling
myself.
everything.
Like, I know that if I go out right now and I eat like this greasy-ass plate of food, I'm not going to want to work for the rest of the day and or night, and I'm going to feel like shit. So have some discipline with yourself. Figure out what is making you unhappy and cut it out. Cut it out. Just cut it out.
Yeah.
And enough with, like, you know, all the things that could be, aren't, should be. Focus on what's in front of you and just do that really well.
And don't overthink things. You know,
Yeah.
You know, humans are creatures of habit. So, you know, sometimes it gets hard to break the cycle and get stuck in it. You know, you have all types of cyclical stuff. But yeah, I feel like, everybody has the power within themselves to do what they want and take the steps necessary to do that. And shit's not easy, but shit.
Shit. I believe in all of y'all. I know y'all can get it done. We love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Shout out to all the cunts and fairies around the world.
And thanks for tuning in on Masisi Radio.
Radio.